Today, I'm going to share the story of one of my patients. Garth came to see me when he was in his mid-60s, and at that time he was really a shadow of his former self. His story is something that brings home the problems that underlie modern medicine, and it illustrates how we as doctors are trained to treat problems in isolation and to treat problems with medications. So what happened to Garth was that he was an extremely talented rugby player in his youth, and he was set for a professional career in sport. And unfortunately, that path was interrupted when he had a knee injury. It essentially ended his career, and he lived in chronic pain from that injury from his mid-20s. As a result of being in pain, Garth needed to take anti-inflammatory medicines. So every day he started taking a medicine for inflammation and a medicine to treat the pain. He also abruptly stopped sport because now he wasn't able to do his normal exercise that he had been training for years and years as a consequence of his injury. So what happened is that over time, Garth became sedentary. He was living in pain. He was taking anti-inflammatories and painkillers every day. He gained weight, plus or minus 15 kilograms over 3 to 4 years. And as a consequence of the anti-inflammatories, he started developing a stomach ulcer, pain and inflammation in his stomach. So the doctor decided to treat him with an antacid medication that he would take daily to combat the inflammation problem as a consequence of his knee injury. With time, sedentary lifestyle, weight gain, Garth developed high blood pressure. And to add to his list, anti-inflammatories, painkillers, antacid medication, he now needed treatment for high blood pressure. So the doctor added something called amlodipine, first-line blood pressure treatment. Unfortunately, the side effect of amlodipine is to cause swelling in the feet. So after a few months, Garth went back to the doctor, and the doctor said, "No problem, let me prescribe a little diuretic for you." So Garth had his pain medicine, anti-inflammatories, medicine to protect his stomach lining, the antihypertensive, and now a little diuretic tablet to stop the feet swelling. Great. Unfortunately, the side effect of that diuretic is to disbalance his uric acid levels, and it also increases the risk of diabetes and dyslipidemia or cholesterol. So after a year or so, normal blood tests reveal that Garth now has high uric acid levels, he is on the brink of diabetes, and his cholesterol is out of whack. He's also gained another 3 to 4 kilograms. So the doctor says, "I'm sorry, but we need to add something to treat the uric acid, so here's some allopurinol for you. We need to add something to bring your blood sugar into balance. Here's some metformin for you. And your cholesterol is high, so here's a statin." So Garth is now on a multitude of medications. He's gaining weight, he's still in pain, and he's not feeling fantastic. Plus, he's going to have to deal with the side effects of all of these medications. So, with time, Garth feels worse and worse. He goes into a bit of a depression. As a result of the high cholesterol, the diabetes, the blood pressure, he develops erectile dysfunction. So he goes to the doctor says, here is an antidepressant for you because we can see that you are in a depressed state, and the antidepressant will probably even make the erection problems worse, so here's a medicine to take for the erection problems. So by the time Garth came to see me, he was taking more than 12 prescribed medications and a whole host of natural supplements to try and combat or mitigate the side effects of all of these medications that he was taking. And my job is to look at the whole picture and say, is there a root cause to this situation that we can potentially reverse? And I asked Garth whether he would be prepared to overhaul his lifestyle so that we can get on top of the pain that he was suffering, so that we can help him to lose weight, because the extra almost 20 kilograms were now contributing to all these additional health problems, and whether he would be prepared to change his nutrition so that we could combat the inflammation that was going on and reduce all of these medicines. And he was 100% on board. So I asked Garth to follow a very low carbohydrate kind of Mediterranean diet, less than 100 grams of carbs per day. We took away the statin and we were able to get rid of the diabetes medication and the medicine for the uric acid. Garth's blood pressure decreased with time, and we could get rid of the diuretic and we could get rid of the blood pressure medicine. I asked him to embark on a strength training program whereby he would do slow, very controlled muscle training exercises to build his muscle bulk and to strengthen the muscles around all of his joints. It was unrealistic for him to go back to playing contact sports like rugby or paddle or anything like that, but he needed to do the physical exercise in order to have metabolic impacts that would be beneficial for him and to get control of that pain in his knee. That was the starting point for all of these problems. And so he embarked on a strength training program with a coach who would guide him as to the types of exercise that were needed to keep his body and particularly his knee supported. With time, we were able to get rid of the anti-inflammatories, which meant that we could also get rid of the medicine to treat the stomach acid. Garth regained his energy, felt so much better, got back into some kind of physical training, which was part of his previous life when he was a happy young man. And so his depression lifted, and as a consequence of getting rid of the antidepressants, his sex life was much better as well. So this case illustrates how in medicine oftentimes we see a problem, we treat with a medication. The medicine has a side effect, we treat with another medication. That side effect gets treated with another medication. And so it's almost like a snowball effect. Whereas if you go back to the root cause of the problem and you look at the entire lifestyle of the person and you optimize everything that you can, it is possible to get rid of chronic medications, and it is possible to live without the side effects of those medications and to feel so much better. Lifestyle medicine really is powerful because it goes to the root cause of the problem and it gives people power so that they can be in control of their health and their well-being. And that in itself is miraculous medicine.